Hey, what's up, people? Today is day 19 in the 30-day video challenge. I did post days 16 through 18 yesterday because I just was so busy Friday, Saturday, Sunday that I wasn't able to get all of them done, I guess, every day. But hopefully, I don't know, it was a little bit of a mixed video because I was just like not really, I didn't really prep for it or anything, didn't think about it. But today is day 19, and 19 is disrespecting your parents. And I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I'm assuming it means like tell of a time that you disrespected your parents, or talk about how in the past or now you disrespect your parents. I don't think it's telling me to actually disrespect them, like just do it. But let's see. I guess in the overall, like my mom used to say to me when I was really little, like just wait until you become a teenager, because when you become a teenager, you're gonna hate me and you're gonna be so angry at me and you're just gonna always like, like not want to do what I say and blah blah. And that was because she's basing that, I believe, off the off the assumption that most teenage girls end up hating their mother for a certain period of time, and like her and her mother, my grandma, would fight a lot when she was a teenager. I think though that it's different because my grandma, to a certain extent, is like a little sexist towards women. I think, and she was always asking me like, "Well, why do you want to go to college? You could just stay home and do laundry all day." And I'm like, "No, that's okay. I don't want to do that. I'd rather have a career and have a future." Um, and uh, and because of that difference, that my mom is not like that, I think that there was a significant difference in our relationship. But also, like, I just never felt super rebellious. I mean, there were things that I did, like one time I ran away from home, but that wasn't because of my mom. That was because of my stepdad. As much as I try to be, um, I guess, like accepting of the fact that he's still around. It just doesn't mean that I have like a certain level of respect for him. You know, I mean, it's the same with my dad. Like, there are different things that I think that my dad deserves, like from me, because of the fact that he was around only some of the time, and then he was also just very, very much like, I don't know, like a bad dad figure for a while. Happy Father's Day, Dad. And and then it was yesterday, but I realize. But even though he wasn't that great of a father figure, like my stepdad wasn't either, and they had similar problems. Like I know that my dad had worse problems, but I guess I never got to the point of like liking my stepdad. And then I always thought that he kind of disliked me, and so now I'm able to be civil with him. But when I was younger, when I was a teenager, specifically in high school, we fought a lot, and like we would end up yelling at each other, and it was just really painful for me because I felt like, and I don't know if it's the truth, um, I felt like um, that I didn't have like my mother's support necessarily. Like sometimes she'd be like, just stop talking to her, to my stepdad, but I don't feel like she understood what I was feeling all of the time. And it wasn't just me, though. It was like my brother and I, like my brother that was born with my dad's DNA, like we're from the same family from my mom and my dad. So we're blood related 100% of the way. And I felt like I don't know, like there was just like a disconnect between my stepfather and us two. Yeah. And we never really got along with him to a certain extent. And there was like, I think some of it was like unfairness in parenting, because then when my little brother, like the one that's my stepdad's kid, was born, he had privileges and he had things that he could do but that we couldn't do. And like it made us feel like, we're lesser because of that fact. But even before my brother was born, there were like things that, like, I don't know, like we just didn't feel like people, or that we had like rights in our own house. And like, yes, you're a child, you should have boundaries or whatever, and we did have boundaries and we respected those boundaries, but So sometimes it would just get like ridiculous, like the fact that, well, this is going back to when my little brother was born, but the fact that I had to be home by 10 o'clock or just not come home. Like it was either you stay out all night or you're home before 10. And when you stay out all night, you have to like, go to a friend's house or whatever. And like I can understand that because like they didn't want to wake up in the middle of the night or whatever, but my little brother would stay up like until 11 or 12 or whatever. And like I'm not talking about when he's a baby, I'm talking about when he started getting older and he could sleep through the night, but he just wanted to play games or whatever. Um and it's just like that's not really a fair situation. So when I when we started getting faced with these unfair situations, my brother and I got even more upset, and then to a certain point, we just ignored whatever rules there were. And we're just like, whatever. Like, we're going to do what we want. And sorry, but, like, if you get upset by it, then maybe there's a certain reason that you're getting upset by it because I don't know. It was really weird. And then, like, there were also things that were just ridiculous. Like, if we were watching TV and my stepdad came home, he would, like, take the remote and change the channel. Doesn't matter what you were watching, what you were doing. And I'm just like, okay, because I was watching that TV and you're not gonna let me watch the TV now. And if you said something like I was watching that or whatever, he's like, well, I just came home, so deal with it. And it's like it's still like that. He still comes home and he turns on the TV, and like nobody can watch TV when he's watching TV, unless you want to watch what he's watching. And then it's like awkward because you're like, well, fuck, I was just watching that and now he changed the channel, so I could either watch what the fuck he's watching, which isn't like the same thing that I like, or I could go do something else. And it would just suck like that because there were shows on TV that didn't come on until after he was home. I don't know. Like, I'm just telling you all these things, I guess, in relation to what, like, how I might have disrespected my parents. But I feel like the only reason I would disrespect my mom was, like, if, like, she was supporting something that he was saying, or she didn't necessarily support what I was saying. She was remain neutral. It's like, at a certain point, like, you have to realize that your kids are more important than watching TV. It's not just, okay, he gets to watch TV. It's more like there's something wrong going on when you're not allowed to do something because somebody else comes home and like they're the man of the house and whatever. Like, and I felt like that was like very sexist, and I don't know, it was just very painful for me. So a lot of the stress that I had in life like went away once I moved out. And I'm sure that a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to move out, blah blah blah." But like in reality, I was trying so hard to get out of the house for so long. Um but I just never had the financial means, and then that's one of the reasons why I took out so much money in student loans is because I was like, I just can't stand this anymore. I need to get out. And I even offered my brother. I was like, if you ever want to like live with me or stay with me, that's cool. Like, it'd be awesome if you could help me pay for it. But if you can't, then like you could still stay there. Um, but so like one time I ran away from home. That's disrespectful, but it was like I don't know. I felt like it was good for a good reason. Um, and I don't know, like I started to stay out of the house more, like when I got older, so that there would be less fighting. I think I don't know. I'm trying to think of like when I disrespected my mom. I think when I disrespected my mom the most was when I was like a little bit younger, like when my mom first met my stepdad, and when we like moved to Arizona. So like when I was like 9, 10, 11, 12, that kind of like age, and I actually got better over time after it got worse. Um, but I mean, especially, I mean, it got better with my mom before it got worse with my stepdad. Um, and I think like, the disrespect that I did with my mom or whatever, it wasn't really like disrespect like, bitch, shut up. It was like I was being loud or something, and that's disrespectful because you're like other people are trying to talk or whatever. Um, and then like when my mom would discipline us, she would like pull our ear, like you see that happen, like old grandmas will pull your ear like up and out, and we were just like, ah, how'd you do that? Or like I can't even remember, like pull our hair sometimes. What else? I don't know. There's other stuff that happened. It's like it's of the past, like I don't really, as much as like I feel like I may have disrespected my parents and like all of these things sound horrible, I feel like it's of the past. Like that's the way that children were disciplined back then. Like my grandparents, like my grandma would like smack us with sticks, like these green sticks when we were bad. And we would just like, it would be freaking painful and we would get like welts. And, 'cause she just did it so fast, it was like, you know, it's like a whip, but not. Like, it was a fucking solid stick. But, um, you know, like, nowadays, like, even if my mom had like another kid and my grandma was watching him or her, like she wouldn't just like whip him, you know. And that's another thing is like she didn't whip my like little brother, so that's why I think he came out a little bit more of a brat, and not also because of the fact that he's spoiled, but you know, that kind of stuff. My birds are being so ridiculously loud. Um, but that's pretty much it. I mean, if you have specific questions about how I disrespected my parents, like you could ask me. But I think overall, like, I don't really like to think about it. Just like I don't really like to think about anything else that happened that was negative because it's whatever. Like there are things that did happen, and there are times that I do have to think about it or I do have to remember it, even when I don't want to. But in the long run, you know, in the end, basically, um, I think that it doesn't really matter how I disrespected my parents. Like I respect them now, at least to the point where I'm not just like angry at them and whatever. And I think that it helps that I'm not living with them anymore. Um, and it's come to the point now where I live in San Francisco where I like want to see my family, but I can't because I don't have the financial ability. Um, and when I went back to Arizona, it was like I feel like my mom was pretty much the same, but like and my stepdad. But like my brothers had like changed. I don't know if they've changed completely or if they just don't know how to act around me because I haven't seen them for like 2 years. And that's a long time, you know, like my older brother, like we talked and stuff, but we didn't really like hang out. And I was hoping we would hang out time, but we didn't, and that sucks because like I mean, if I had to choose somebody in the entire world that I think that I would probably be able to relate to really well, talk to really well, even if we don't really talk about anything, and have like a good time with just playing video games or whatever, that would be like my brother. You know, like we went through a lot, and I think that we have grown apart a little bit because I've been gone. And then my little brother didn't even say like more than a sentence to me. It was ridiculously scary, like how introverted he was, and so I don't even know, like, when I see him next time, if he's going to talk to me. He was just playing video games all day, every day I was there, unless he was sleeping. So, I don't know. We'll see how things change in the future. I hope to go back to Arizona in February. That would be great. But again, we'll have to see if I have any financial ability. So let's see. Tomorrow is day 20, and day 20 is how important you think education is. Um, that's gonna take a whole 15 minutes, probably. So, yeah, leave a comment down here on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever, and let me know what you think or how you disrespected your parents. I would love to hear it. I think that'd be funny. And I will get back to you tomorrow with day 20. Okay, bye, people.